What's up, guys? Back with the final episode in this rather long E30 interior audio upgrade build, whatever you want to call it. Basically, we got everything done. 6x9s are done, 6.5s are done in the front. This episode is just going to be throwing in my new center console, which is on top of the car. Throwing in the new center console, finishing the wiring for the last two runs from the crossovers to the amplifier that we went over in the previous episode. And then we are just going to be doing the tuning on the front amp before I do the install for that. And then basically just like touching up the carpet, since I got some paint for that to or some carpet dye to touch up the stuff while everything is out and cleaned. So we're just gonna go back to the clips. I already did the setting the level on the amplifier the other day for the 170 RMS the channel, and then we're just going to set the crossover point right now. And the crossover on the speakers are from 45 hertz up. So we are going to take the crossover point and set it to 60 hertz, just because I don't want the speakers taking anything lower than that. I know you can do it from the head unit, but I'd rather do it on the amplifier itself. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. Then basically we're just tuning the system, and then whenever I get the door panels back, sometime at the end of the month or whatever, we can go ahead and test how it fully sounds with the 2-inch drivers on the door and the 6.5s. So got my little multimeter here, and then we're just gonna go ahead and set this crossover point to 60 hertz. So I'm gonna give you like a little rundown on how I did it, because I already did the other thing. So I'm gonna warm the garage up real quick and then come back out here and then do this. And then after we get everything back together with the new door panels and everything, we're gonna go ahead and do my little cinematic or whatever of the install, and then we're going to do some test songs and then see how it sounds and see if it was definitely worth the money. So yeah, let's get this crossover point set on this front amplifier and then call it a day. Alright, so I'm doing this during the last video, but I wanted to do this because it's part of this episode. We are tuning the amplifier right now for the front. Like I said, we're running at 2.5 ohms, and at 2 ohms this is rated at 220 watts, so we're going to dial it down to 170 watts because the speakers are 100, and then these door pocket ones are 65. So plus you got a little bit of loss in your the power that the crossover takes, so we're just going to go to 170. So basically to do that, all you do is run I got 1,000 hertz test tone right now running through the radio. It's all hooked up. After I set this correctly, basically you take the power that you want times your ohms. So it's 170 times 2.5, which I'll put the math up. And then you take the square root of that number, which gives you what you want, which is going to be 20.9 volts. So that's why we got the voltmeter here, or the multimeter, so we can check the volts. So let's go ahead and see if we can get an angle here. Probably not. So I got the screwdriver right here on the, you can't see it, but it's the level knob. So we're just gonna make sure these touch in here so I get a reading. So right now we are at, as you can see, 14 volts. So I'm gonna try to move this real quick. There we go. There we go, 20.9. Alright, so we got everything down here. Basically what we're going to do to go ahead and set this crossover point, we're going to set it to 60 hertz. So basically we're going to set the high pass filter to 60. So basically that means anything higher than 60 hertz is going to go to the speakers, and then anything lower will get cut off and it's going to get rolled off in the crossover point. So what that's going to do is going to clean up these sounds where it's not getting unnecessary, anything less than what it's supposed to be rated at. It's going to clean up all that. It's going to get rid of all those frequencies that's going to be sent to the speaker that doesn't need to be sent there, obviously causing your speaker to get frequencies that it shouldn't be able to handle or anything like that. So to do this, we are going to I'm going to go ahead and get my phone. I got a test tone generator app. We're going to run a 60 hertz test tone because that's what I want to set it to. Then we're going to get the unfiltered voltage out of one of the speaker terminals over there. So whatever the number is, there are 4 different types of amps that have different crossover dBs. built in to how they're wired up. So basically you have a 6 dB, a 12 dB, an 18 dB, and a 24 dB. Most amps that I've seen basically are 12 dB crossover slopes. So there's different voltage factors, which I'm going to put on the screen right now. This is pretty easy which means I'm just going to take that unfiltered voltage and then go ahead and multiply that by 0.501, which is basically half. So we're going to take whatever voltage it is and then divide it by half, and then that's the voltage that we need. So then we're going to go ahead and turn on the high pass filter, which is down here on this switch. I turn it all the way to the right, turn on the high pass filter, and then we're going to adjust this frequency knob right here that goes from 40 hertz to I think 500 hertz. And then we're just going to go ahead and turn it up until we get the target voltage, and then that's going to be your crossover point. So that's going to be a 60 hertz crossover. This is going to be different for every kind of speaker. Like I said, these are rated at 45, but I want to keep it a little bit above that at 60, because I don't want them to play that low when I already have obviously the subwoofer to play the sub bass, which is basically 80 hertz and down, but I just want to play a little bit lower with these at 60 hertz. So let's go ahead and get the test tone generated on the amp, hook it up Bluetooth, and then see what the unfiltered voltage is, and then go ahead and divide it by 2, and then we'll adjust the high pass filter. So let's get it. All right, so like I said, we had it set to 60 hertz on the app, so everything is set. So yeah, we can now take this amplifier apart and everything, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sweep the car down, get all like the crap I've been doing in there out of there, all like the random pieces of wire and shit, get everything cleaned out, touch up the carpet today, let it set for tomorrow. Then we can start throwing the center console back in, which is up there, the new one. We still got the Euro AC grill coming in. It is not here yet, but we still got to drill holes in this where the wire is going to go for the amplifier, because that's where the amplifier is going to go. So yeah, let's go ahead and then I'll get all the wires ran for the amplifier, get that amplifier mounted right here, and then that panel's going to cover it so you don't see it at all, and that's the best place for it to go. I guess see you guys tomorrow. What's up guys, so back with the updated part. I got the door panels all done now, which I'm not going to try to show you too much of those in the video, because I want you guys to watch the video if you guys are interested in that. But see if we can get it to focus. Just got done filming the video for the reveal for those door panels. A little dark and dingy out today, but we're going to go ahead and set up the recorder and everything, because we're going to do a little sound test of how the audio build came out. And then I'll give you an idea of what I think about what I spent, and if it's worth upgrading the 6.5s, which isn't going to be a universal thing. Like I told my friend, how I made mine work is how I made mine work. So if you guys are going to be doing 6.5s, you probably are going to have to modify the cover and everything like I did in the other previous episodes. But yeah, like I said, we're going to go ahead and set up the GoPro and everything like that, and do some audio clips. We also did sound deaden the door, so that did help out with the sound quality a little bit, especially when driving. So pretty happy with the overall setup of this audio setup that I've done. So let's get everything set up and get some little sound clips. And of course they're not going to sound as good as, you know, listening to it in person, that's obvious, but you just have to take my word for it. I'm really happy with it. Obviously people that are be doing audio builds in their cars probably going to go too extensive like this. I only went with the 6x9s because of the previous owner already had them done, and there wasn't no point to not run 6x9s. So the 6.5s in the front were just a thing I wanted to try, and it just happened to work out. So let me get the GoPro set up, and we can start taking some videos. Shut down the second you leave. Shut down the second you leave. Shut down. Track, and this is without any stuff. This is just interior speakers, obviously, on itself. So we're going to do one more track that is more so just instrumental, just to go ahead and kind of like highlight the highs and performance on that stuff. Alright boys, so we're just going to do a little kind of overview of what everything cost me to do this process. Obviously this is something that most people don't do to their E30s. A lot of E30 people don't really do anything to do with audio. But like I said, this is something I've always wanted to do, so I've actually put some quality into the car because I want everything to be done and then not have to do it again. So I probably won't have to do the system in this car anymore after this, but I'm trying to just go over everything. Just a quick little price sheet so we can get this episode over with. So we're gonna start off with the speakers first. Hopefully there's no wind noise because it's kind of windy out here, but. So the first thing we have is the Infinity Kappa 6.5s, which were $200. I got those, I think, on Amazon, I believe. Might have been eBay, I'm not really sure. But $200 for those. The 6x9s, I got them on sale on eBay, I think, for 130 bucks. And then I bought the NVX silicone baffles for them, which cost me $24. And then we have the MDF risers, which were $15, and that was to lift them up off of the back the back parcel shelf so I can clear the basket from the metal that's inside of there. So did that. The suede I had laying around, so I didn't pay any money for that. It's just had some extra stuff sitting around. And then the 2-inch mid drivers, the 20 MX Infinity Kappas for the 3-way, those were 100 bucks off Amazon. So. All right, so the next thing up, we're just gonna cover, we're gonna go from the radio. The radio that I'm running, the Sony, cost me like 240 bucks off of Amazon. 240 bucks for that. And then to be able to run the power for the 3-way system, I went ahead, like I said, and got the amp for the front that's behind that little panel. I paid 192 bucks for that, for the MVX 2-channel amp. Let's see, we got $130 for the wires. That's all the speaker wire, all the RCA cables, and everything basically to do with the wiring for the new radio install and the RCAs and speaker wire leads. The door pods that I made for the door pods, those were about $30 worth of material for that, because all it was is some wood I had laying around, and then all I had to do was buy the fiberglass stuff or whatever for it. So that was only about 30 bucks for that. Then we spent the $25 for the ferrule kit that came with the little tip that you crimp on for the end of the speaker wires. That makes it just a lot better and more clean for the install. And then I bought some heat shrink as well for another $10. So that's basically everything that I wrote down for what the process cost me to do it. And we're definitely into it more than I thought I would be. But obviously, like I said, I wanted to do it once and not have to do it again. So we're around $1,100 for the entire build. Obviously, that was spread out with, you know, months and months between, because I started this process. Well, I started buying stuff for the process like last year, and then we started it sometime in January. So. So overall, we're going to talk about what I think of the quality of everything. Obviously, you can't really tell when you're listening to it on the audio clips before this. You know, you can only do so much with audio when it comes to recording it for YouTube and stuff like that. So I did the best I could, but like I said, it's a lot more clear. There's a lot more depth in the music. When it comes to like the rap, there's more bass obviously. With the 5 1/4s, there's like no bass reproduction in the front is all. But yeah, like I said, the 5 1/2s just give you like no bass whatsoever. So I do say that the 6 1/2s are definitely worth the upgrade, but it's going to depend on what you get, and you just got to worry about the depth of the magnet and everything, and then how the basket design is, because some are going to fit, some aren't going to fit. So I just got lucky that mine fit directly into the hole, and I didn't have to do anything besides adjust my the little kick panel and kind of make that my own. So it's not going to be like a universal thing. If you're going to be doing 6 1/2s, you're going to have to figure out how to do the kick panels yourself if your 6 1/2s do fit. But yeah, the 6x9s, like I said, those were easy to do because I already had the 6x9s back there, so the hole's already cut for it. So basically the only thing that I did was just kind of cut out some more metal with a little grinder and make sure the basket fit inside of there. Even having the subwoofer in the back, obviously that takes up for the low end, but when it comes to like music in general, it was just a lot to be desired with the other setup that I had, because I had no power. And running any kind of speakers with more power than the head unit power, which is, you know, normally around like 17 to 20 RMS, is going to be sounding a lot better than just having your speakers running off that. If you guys could get a 4-channel amp, even just doing like a small upgrade of like, you know, $250 worth of speakers, and then, you know, going ahead and throw in a 4-channel amp, is going to sound a lot better. But for the depth of the bass or anything, I think 6 1/2s is like the only way that you're going to get that out of E30, because obviously when they designed the E30, obviously they didn't really care about the audio system. I know they had the premium sound or whatever, but still wasn't too great, because just like the placement for the speakers is bad because it's down there by your feet, so you're kind of blocking all that sound, and just not really a great sound stage in the E30 So overall, this was a fun experience to do this and make sure everything looked nice and clean. And of course, the subwoofer's been done for years. I'll throw like clips or pictures of that. That's been done for years, so this definitely just added what I was missing out of the system, which was all the mids and the clarity for the highs. Because obviously if you listen to rap with like heavy bass, most of the time you're not really hearing the vocals too good, and then you don't want the tweeters to be so bright where they're like piercing when you're trying to listen to your music, which is like a main thing. That's why I did the 3-way system, because what it does is basically takes all the frequencies that the one speaker down there would be getting, like if you're running a component set, like even the stock component set, you got your woofer down there, then you got your tweeter. Obviously this is gonna be a lot more detailed and a lot more full sounding, because it's taking basically 3 speakers to separate all the frequency range, instead of having it done between 2 speakers or even 1 speaker. So obviously it's going to make a big difference when it comes to just listening to coaxial speakers, which have the woofer and the tweeter on it, compared to do a component set where there's 2 speakers, or a 3-way set where there's the mid woofer, the mid driver, and then your tweeter. So I think it definitely added a layer of, not complexity, but another layer of detail into the music, because that little speaker that does in the door, it doesn't produce any bass really. It's basically just covering, like, you hear like a lot of guitar. If you're like listening to metal, you hear a lot of guitar, a lot of the bass drum, like the bass drum click, and you also get some vocals in there, and everything just kind of comes together really well. So I know these speakers are a little bit older. I think they came out like first in 2018 or 2017, but still quality speakers. They're really nice quality. They're really hefty, so really happy with them overall. I'm gonna give some friends some sound tests that have heard the audio system before this, and then see what they think about it, including my friend Sam and my friend Ryan, because he just got done doing the E30 build. He's doing the E30 build. He just got done doing a CT Sounds front and rear speaker setup with the 6 1/2s and then the 5 1/4s, and he's really not happy with them. So just kind of want to give him the little test of how mine sounded. But hopefully this video is not too long. I'm not really sure why I stopped in the editing process, but it was definitely fun doing this little process, and everything seems to have came together good. So really happy with it overall, and definitely worth the money. Of course, I could have saved money here and there, you know, doing different brands or whatever, but I wanted these speakers specifically, so I just went ahead and got them. So hopefully we're good in focus here. I can't really see the camera all the way over there, but that's why we got the wireless mic set up here. But yeah, anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. If you guys want to know how I did anything else, if you like randomly found this video, be sure to check out the other 4 parts in this series, and hopefully everything's all good. So we're gonna be doing some more videos this year. Got probably 2 more videos after this, which is the door panels and the sound deadening, on how to do that for your car. But just haven't really got time to edit those, so that might be taking me like a a month or 2 break or whatever. Just for time for me to save up money for the motor build and start getting stuff done with that, so we can have that done by next spring to be able to put in the car. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to check the links down below, and let me know what you guys think about the audio build, and if you guys are into audio as well as I am, definitely upgrade your E30 audio, because it's going to be sounding a lot better. And if you listen to music heavy like I do, I know a lot of people just focus on the motor sound and everything like that, which I'm a big fan of too, but I'm also a big fan of listening to music constantly. So yep, anyways guys, thanks for watching the video. Peace.